I'm Chip Townsend, and this is the Team Chip Podcast. Hey guys, welcome back to the Team Chip Podcast. I'm so excited to be back with you guys. It is coming into a very special time of year, and I wanted to share hopefully some nuggets with you guys. So we're moving kind of out of summer soon and back into fall time. And really, I'm kind of more looking at the seasons that we're in, going from summer to kind of the school season. This is something that all martial arts schools should be paying attention to. Really, every business. If you watch TV, which we don't, but you see commercials, you see stuff go by on your social media, and there's all kinds of back to school, back to school, back to school. All of the major successful companies know that this is the time of year to make a push for back to school. Well, why is that? That's because right now, as kids are going back into school, parents and families are kind of looking at what is our kids' schedule going to be like for the next 9, maybe 10 months. Some of the schools around our area now have gone to a 4-day school week. And so instead of Monday through Friday and having a little bit of a shorter school year, that's like 8.5, 9 months, they're pushing out and doing 4-day school years, or 4-day school weeks, and then expanding the year a little bit. So like up to 10 months of their year, the kids are getting like a month and a half, 2 months of summertime. But the point is we at Team Chip, we've tracked our numbers pretty consistently for a long time. And I can go back and look at our actual new student signups at our main location here all the way back to 2002. Sadly, from 1995, when we took it over forward, I had all that stuff written in ring binders, and spiral notebooks. And I didn't get that transition into our electronic, digital paperwork or Google Sheets or Excels, whatever. But we do have accurate numbers all the way back to 2000. That's 24 years of sign-up numbers where we can look and go in, 2004 in February, how many people signed up that month? Now, it may not seem that important, but what that's given us over time is it's given us, kind of a big picture view of kind of the cycles of the years. And here's the deal, pretty darn consistently moving out of July into August. And I know this can vary depending on what regions of the country you're in. School years run a little bit different. Summers are a little bit different time frames, just by a little bit. And so, but for us here in the South in Texas, about August, our sign-up numbers for new students coming in, this is not our complete list of stats, but kind of peak up in August, September, and even into October. And so what's happening is in the nuclear home where you have mom, dad, and kids, the traditional home, the way it should be, the mom makes about, statistically, they say 75-ish to 90 sometimes % of the buying decisions for the family when it comes to groceries and activities for the kids and different things like that. And so when you look at that right now, coming into the end of summer, and even some moms are super organized, and by the beginning of the summer, they've already got their fall plan. But, people are looking pretty hard right now. What is my kid's schedule going to be like? What are the activities that are important enough for me to put my kid into them or keep my kid in them through that 9 to 10 month school year? Because when that school year starts, it's hyper important for those kids to get into a pattern and get into, good habits and rituals with school, setting their clothes out the night before and having their lunch packed in the refrigerator and just being prepared for the next day. And so they're looking at that going, okay, what fits on our schedule? Well, hopefully we as martial arts school owners and operators and instructors are doing a good enough job in helping kids to become more structured and disciplined, and helping them to learn to fulfill expectations and gain self-control and all the things that we work on all the time on the Martial Arts Matter. We should be. Hopefully we're helping them enough that we become an asset to those guys. And whenever they sit down and they make budget decisions, in my mind, I've always kind of looked at it this way. People have the what we need and the what we want, and there's a line down the middle. And what we need is food and water and shelter and clothing, those basic, Maslow hierarchy of needs kind of things. We got to have those basic fundamental things to survive. And then there's kind of the want side. I want a new car, or I want this activity for my kid, but I'm not sure. So this is a little bit of a caveat, but in our martial arts school, in our system, in our organization, with all the school owners that we work with, one of the things I work with them on is we have to move ourselves on that family's budget sheet from a want to a need. And what I mean by that is once kids get into our school, and this will hopefully kind of tie back to this time of year and why this is so important, but once they get into our school, if we're doing our job on the mat and creating an experience they can get nowhere else, teach them functional martial arts, which requires that we teach them moral and character values, because we're potentially teaching them dangerous things. If we're doing that well, their self-control is growing. Their discipline is growing. Their focus is growing. What's happening? Their grades are going up. Their discipline issues in school are coming down. So as these things happen, I'm hoping that a parent looks at that budget and goes, this is no longer a want. We wanted martial arts for our kid, or our kid wanted martial arts. It's a need because it's changed their life. This is a big deal, right? So this time of year, going into the fall, a lot of parents are looking at what are our activities going to be and what are the things that we find valuable enough that we put on our budget and we budget for those things. And so anyway, going back through those historical sign-up numbers, I can show you how pretty commonly, actually very commonly, August, September, and October tend to rise up in the new student signups. And so it's a big deal and it's a big time of year for us. So we need to be prepared for that. We need to be prepared. So, just some things to think about. If you're a single, instructor and you have a lot of inflow coming in, you might be creating a bottleneck if you don't have a team and you don't have systems in place to handle that growth. And I think as, a martial arts school owner operator, my why is first and foremost serving God, right? And I think that God gave me the gift of martial arts to give back to other people because it makes their lives better, right? And so for me, I don't want to just grow simply to gain an extra dollar. I want to grow because I feel like I'm doing God's work that he gave me to do. And that's what we were called to do. And so all of this matters. Like if we're bringing more people in and we're seeing them strictly as a metric and we're just seeing them as another dollar or another number on the sign-up sheet for the month or whatever, and we don't have the systems in place to take care of them, that's a problem. And if I'm the only one serving them on the mat and the mat gets too full, I've created a bottleneck, and this is silly, but I'm on the mat teaching. Who's going to answer the phone? Who's going to answer that parent question during the class that pops up? We have to have a team. So we need to be prepared for this time of year, and we need to I hate to use the word take advantage of, but take advantage of the opportunity to potentially have some natural organic traffic coming in because people are sincerely looking for the right things. And I hope that you see how all of this ties together. If you've had a school for several years and you've really served your community and you've really served your students and you've done things right and you've stuck to your integrity, you should have a reputation in your community that gets you good word of mouth. You should have good referrals because your students are talking about what they love about what they do there, which piques other people's interest in the room. They go, oh, I want to be a part of that, right? So hopefully this time of year gains you some organic growth, right? And again, I can go back and look at our numbers and show you like we historically have more traffic this time of year. And again, it's that time when parents are looking for where my kid's going to go and what are they going to do. So make sure that you have in place, a first 100 days or first 90 days, or maybe in your school, it's like to the first belt level, a tight system in how you help people to acclimate to your culture, to understand how things work in your school, have a system in place for how that works, and have a team that understands that system, etc. So I know I kind of beat this stuff up, but there are three, big R's in my mind in our business and industry. And one is recruiting people, the other is retaining people, and then the other is revenue. Do we have the revenue to maintain a business that can maintain our life, our team's life, and our, obviously our facilities so the students can keep doing what they're doing? It's like a cycle, right? And so in this time of year, we have a great opportunity for some extra recruitment because people, again, are kind of organically looking for where can my kids go and what can they do. And again, if we've done it well, hopefully you're one of the ones that they're looking at to serve their families. But the other side of that is that recruitment turns right into retention. And if we don't have the systems in place to serve that inflow that comes in, and we create bottlenecks by being the only instructor or the only one that can answer questions, or, the only one that can handle the phone or the computer system or the CRM or whatever, that's a problem. So again, I know we're beating this up, but build a team, build a strong team, build the systems and get them in place so that you can handle that bit of growth and continue to keep them, because a good month of August where they all drop in September is not a good thing. I don't care what you think, but that's, I made a little extra money in August. That's great. Who cares about the money when the lives aren't getting touched because they're out the back door in September because you couldn't serve what they need? And that's not now growth in August that we still see. We've got 95% of them still on the mat in 6 months, 89% of them in a full year, et cetera. And now we're talking a good business, a good way to operate. So in this time of year, be thinking about some things like towards the end of the summer, is it a good time to maybe, put on some fresh paint? Kind of look at things with the new eyes coming into this time, and how can you freshen your place up? So when those moms and dads too they come by and they look at your place, they go, oh man, this is the place to be. It's fresh, it's nice, it's clean, etc. Be thinking about this time of year as well. On the retention side, you have your people that have been out, their schedules have been kind of wonky through the summer. They've missed a week here for camps or, the typical summer things. Are we kind of talking to them about reestablishing good habits and kind of getting their ritual back on as they get back into the school season? So for those students that you already have that are active, it's a good time to reach out to those people and thinking in terms of kind of getting them back active on the mat. And, you've got people that sometimes for us will have a family, families that might take a month off to go see families in other countries or whatever that is. Are you proactively at the end of the summer, moving into fall, reaching out to those guys and saying, hey, sure hope you had a great summer, and being specific on what you say to them so they know you care? And then, hey, we're looking forward to seeing you back. We can't wait to have you on the mat. You've been missed, etc. Again, it's a great time to look at your referral systems, because right now, while those moms are out there looking for activities for their kids, they're going to these back to school meetings, kind of getting prepared, meet the teachers and all these things. They're also asking the other parents like, hey, what are your activities are your kids in? So in your school, are you letting people know it's okay to bring friends? It's okay to refer people to us. As a matter of fact, we would love it if you would. Do you have some sort of referral plan or something in place to help people to know that it's okay to do those things? So it's just a time to also, be looking at those systems and kind of refreshing them, thinking through them, rethinking your why with your team, like going back through, why do we do what we do and why do we care so much? And why does it matter to an individual student, to that student's family, to that student's extended family, to the schools that these kids go to? How does it impact the schools? How does it impact our community? So like getting back on your why and really understanding, what that is. It's also a great time as school's coming back to do like an open house, to invite local school teachers and all the families in to come and have an evening at your school and do some little mini demos, maybe some mini classes, so people go, oh, wow, this is martial arts. This is what they do here. Do things proactively this time of year. But again, I think the big thing is there's just an opportunity moving into the fall for some organic growth, some organic eyes on what you're doing. And again, if we're doing a good job and doing it well, hopefully they're putting their eyes on you because they're hearing around town like, okay, these are the people, that we want to take our kids to and that we feel that we can trust. With your team, I spend some time with the team towards the end of summer, towards the end of the school year, not preparing them for the worst, but just reminding them that all the kids are about to go through a schedule shift. They're about to go from possibly kind of getting to sleep in every morning and watch a little more TV than normal or whatever that is. And they're going to go to a little more regimented schedule for the next 9 or 10 months. And how for us, my experience has been for like a week or two when school starts back up, the kids are a little sluggish. They're kind of lagging a little bit. This is they're tired. Their little bodies and minds are adjusting to this new schedule that was their schedule last year in school, right? But they're readjusting to it coming out of summer and kind of that relaxed mindset, and they're getting a little more vigilant. So for a couple of weeks, guys, I tell my team, like, let's be really graceful. Let's be a little overly energetic in classes. Let's help them to get over the hump. Let's talk to them about, hey guys, it's the time to set yourself up to be having the best school year you've ever had. And letting the people know that really care. So anyway, the whole point really of the podcast is each of these are probably things we could do an episode over, but this is just kind of a natural time of year that people will be looking at you. We've talked about it before. January, New Year is a time for that as well. But I'm going to go back to something I said earlier. A lot of times we look at January and we go, oh, new year, new me, new fresh. Why wait till New Year? Let's do that at the end of the summer going into the school season, because for us, a lot of times a fair amount of our clientele are school age, and we need to be prepared for that. Let's do the new you, new fresh everything now in that fall time. So whenever they're out there kind of naturally looking for what their activities are going to be for the next 9 or 10 months, you can hit higher on that list because number one, you care and you've poured yourself into your business and the things that you do. So anyway, with that said, don't miss the bus. Fall time can be an amazing time for us as martial arts school owners, any kind of gym, a gymnastics school, anybody. This is the time of year to be paying attention to people looking for the things that they're going to put their kids in for the next 9 to 10 months. Be the person in your community, be the business in your community that people just kind of automatically go, okay, if my kids go somewhere, that's the place. I hear nothing but good things about those guys. They're respectable. They're consistent. Their place is clean. It looks sharp when I drive by. Be that person in your community. I hope that helps. Love doing these things for you. Reach out to us and let us know what you'd like to hear. As a matter of fact, a lot of these things like parents' night outs and open houses and all the Teamship curriculum solutions, reach out to us. We'd love to help you and help you to better what you're doing. I really have a huge heart for any martial artist that's running a reputable business and, trying to make a good living for their family, because I believe what we do changes the world in a better way every day. But I have a really big heart for, kind of small to, middle-sized schools. I was one of those in a small town in West Texas that was miles from everybody. And it was sometimes difficult to, what step do I take next? What do I do? And I finally learned to reach out to mentors, get help. We'd love to mentor you, or we'd love to help you or step up beside you. So don't forget Teamship Curriculum Solutions. So you hear me talking about things on the podcast and you're curious, shoot me a private message, Facebook, shoot me an email, whatever you want to do, but reach out to us. We'd love to talk to you, love to hear what you would like to hear about. And we're really praying for the best for you out there as an industry and for the good of our nation. This nation is the best in the world, and it was built on the back of small business. All right, guys, go out there and have a great week, and I'll catch you on the next episode. Thank you for tuning into the Teamship Podcast. If you enjoyed today's episode, don't forget, subscribe, share, and or leave a review, because we need you. We appreciate you so much, and without you, we can't make this happen. Remember, consistency is the key to success, so go out there and never be outworked.